Hey folks, so I wanted to pop in really quickly today to talk about a really excellent method of becoming a more savvy wine consumer and just more educated about what it is that you're drinking. And this is all around understanding what's happening in your palate in order to determine the styles of wine you like. So let's dive in. And I got inspired by this particular topic because I am doing a book club with some friends of mine here in Portland, and we were reading an awesome book by Aldo Somm, Wine Simple. I would highly recommend this book. So if you are someone that is looking to learn a little bit more about the basics of wine, this is a great one to dive into. And once again, like I said, I got inspired because there is this awesome infographic here about all the different tasting sensations on a tongue that you get when you are trying wine. And I thought this was so cool because it really is important to understand the sensations happening in your mouth and what acidity tastes like, what tannins taste like, what alcohol tastes like, and what sweetness tastes like. So those are kind of your four pillars when it comes to assessing a wine and what's happening in your mouth. And I think the more educated you can become about knowing these different sensations, the more confident of a wine consumer you'll be. So if you know you like acidic wines, you'll be able to go to a bottle shop and talk to the bottle shop owner and say, hey, I'm looking for a really acidic white wine to go with my dinner tonight. What would you recommend? So this is so helpful, and let's dive in, let's talk about it. So in order to keep this video fairly quick today, I just want to talk in particular about acidity and what that sensation is on your palate, because like I said, there's also tannins, alcohol, and sweetness, but we'll save those for a separate video. So acidity is really common in so many white varietals as well as rosé wines and in some red wines as well. But acidity is that puckering sensation you get on the corners of your mouth when you drink a wine, and it makes you drool, it makes you super saliva-y. And I know this sounds really gross, but it is almost like you take a lemon and just bite into it and you just get your face gets all scoonchy. That is acidity. And like I said, really common in a lot of white wines and rosés and some lighter style red wines, but I think acidity in a wine makes it super food friendly. And this is because when you have that drooling sensation in your mouth, when your mouth is really watery, your palate is going to want something to kind of absorb all of that saliva and all of that gooey drool. So that's what makes acidic wine really food friendly, and why so many whites and rosés pair with just almost any dish. And one thing I wanted to note is that when it comes to acidity, I personally, when it comes to assessing the acidity in a red wine, I find it to be a little challenging because I find that so many red wines also have high levels of tannins. And I think when you have tannins and acidity kind of blending together, the tannins can overpower the acidity and kind of mask the acidity happening on your palate. So I have this strategy for assessing acidity in a red wine, and it's going to seem really gross, but it works. And I call it the dropping acid method. So it's basically where you take wine, you take a sip of it, you swirl it around in your mouth, let it get all friendly in there. And then as soon as you swallow, you want to dip your head and see how quickly the saliva pools to the front of your mouth. Like I said, really gross, also super effective. So let me show you a little demo. So I'm at my office today. I don't have a proper wine glass. I'm just drinking out of a regular glass, but at the same time, there is no proper vessel to drink wine. Whatever you have on hand, wine's wine. Just drink out of mason jar, a solo cup, whatever you got. So I'm drinking out of this glass today, and let's get started. Okay, swallowed. Let's do this. Okay, so for this particular wine, it was really slow to kind of pool to the tip of my mouth, which means there's not a lot of acidity in this red wine. And that doesn't surprise me at all because I'm drinking a Zinfandel, and Zinfandels aren't really known for being very acidic. So, like I said, really not surprised. But that is my dropping acid method. I really want you to try it because, as weird as it sounds, it is really helpful to determine the acidity in a red wine. So like I said, with acidity, you get the puckering sensation, you get really, you drool a lot. So if you are someone who is looking to practice this, I would highly recommend going to a bottle shop and picking up a dry Riesling. Rieslings are known for being just extremely acidic, almost to this like searing acidity. I don't know. It's like, it is like you have taken lemon and bit into it. It is very pronounced on the palate. So try a dry Riesling. And then also, if you're looking to experiment with a really acidic red wine, I would recommend checking out a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noirs are renowned in the red varietals to be really acidic, and so this would be a great one to also practice with. So I think that's it for today. Like I said, I wanted to keep it a little short, but I see I'm already at 6 minutes. I clearly ramble, but we will save some future videos to discuss tannins and what that tastes like on your palate, as well as how to assess alcohol levels and how to assess the sweetness in a wine. Like I said in the beginning, all of this, understanding those sensations on your palate, will help you become a more educated wine consumer so that you are constantly purchasing bottles that fit your unique style preferences, so that you can, confidently open up bottles, and more likely than not, you're gonna love them, because that is the ultimate goal about drinking wine, is maximum enjoyment. So I wanna make sure that you're buying bottles that fit your unique preferences, and if you like to drool, you're buying acidic wines, and yeah, that's it for today. Okay, bye guys.